Hello, hello, hello. Come on into the webinar. My name is Linda Peavy, and I'm going to be your hostess for this evening, where we're going to talk about how you get grant money for your Black-owned business or your Black-led nonprofit. As you come in, say hello, give that city and that state a shout out. Let me know where you are coming in from. We have a few minutes before we get started, so I want to know who is here with me today. Soliel coming in from Richmond, Virginia. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Give that city and that state a shout out and let me know where you are coming in from. Soleil. It's Soleil Lindsay. Soleil from Richmond, Virginia. And Damien is coming in from New York, New York. Who else is here with me tonight? Who else is here with me tonight? Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Let's see. Is it Eves or Eves? Which one is it? Eves? I think it's Eves. Eves from Kentucky. And Lavietta from Louisiana. And Ossie is coming in from Brockton, Massachusetts. And Deidre's coming in from South Carolina. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. And give that city and that state a shout out. And let me know where you are coming in from. We have a couple of minutes, so I am just welcoming you in. My name is Linda Peavy. I'm going to be your host for this evening, where we're going to talk about grants and grant writing, especially for your Black-owned business or your Black-led nonprofit, as we welcome Brian. Brian from Charlotte, North Carolina. These are the early people, the early people. Come on in, early people. We've got, let's see, who else? Don't be shy. Come on in. I see you coming in. I see you coming in. I have been to, let's see, I've been to all of these states. I have been to 40 of the 50 states. I have 10 more to go. That's on my bucket list. So I visited all of these good states. Let's see, Geneva from North Carolina, residing in the ATL. The ATL has shown up. I'll be in Atlanta in a couple of weeks. Who else is here with me? Who else is here with me? Don't be shy. Don't be shy as you come in. As you come in, give your city and your state a shout out. Let me make sure everything is ready to go with the presentation. Let's see. Let's see. Who else do we have here? Let me move in a little bit closer. We've got, let's see, North Carolina, North Carolina. The Carolinas have shown up. North Carolina, South Carolina. All right, all right. Latanya from the Big D Detroit has entered the chat. The Big D Detroit, Metro Detroit. Hello, Latanya. All right. We are going to give it like just maybe one more minute before we get started. Patrice, hello, Patrice. Where are you coming in from? Latanya, where are you coming in from? Henry, you are coming in from New Jersey. New Jersey is in the house. And Jaja, right? Jaja from South Carolina. I'm telling you, the Carolinas have shown up tonight. South Carolina, North Carolina. Hello, Patrice from Miami. Oh, I was in Miami in June. I was in Miami in June. Yes, Jaja. So welcome, everyone. So my name is Linda Peavy, and I am going to be your host for this evening, where we're going to talk about how you get grant money for your Black-owned business and your Black-led nonprofit. And I am so glad that you decided to spend this evening with me, because I am here to tell you that now more so than ever before, it's going to be really important for you to place your organization in the best possible position for you to get free funding. while it is available, right? And we don't know how much longer. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we move through. As we welcome, oh, I'm getting ready to butcher her name, Javon. Is that right? Javon from Queens. Oh my gosh, I was just in Queens a couple of weeks ago. I was in Queens. I know you guys are thinking, where have you not been? I told you I've been in like 40 of the 50 states. I only have 10 states to go. All right, we're going to get started. So the first thing you're going to see is just like my little 30-second TV commercial, which will give you some information about my background. And then we are off to the races. We're going to get started because I have a lot of information to share with you tonight. So we are live. So the first thing I do when I share this screen is I say, come on through technology, come through technology, come on through technology. All right, so there we are. Let us prepare to share this screen. Oh, looking good, looking good. I believe we are off to the races.
Hi, I'm Linda Peavy, owner of LaPav Consulting. My passion is to place your organization on the path to excellence. Are you struggling to communicate your message, reach target audiences, or secure funding? From marketing communications to grant writing, we achieve your goals. We've worked with high-profile clients and have secured $17 million in funding for charter schools and nonprofits. Call today to discuss what your success looks like and how LaPav Consulting can help.
All right, let's make sure everybody is in the right place. So this is grant writing for your Black-owned business or your Black-led nonprofit. And we are live. So we are off to the races. Now, come on, you can do it, you can do it. All right, so my background, they call me the grants queen because I have secured over $17 million in grants and business development. And this is year 16 of me owning my company, LaPav Consulting. Every one of those years, I have been a professional grant writer. Now, my undergrad and graduate degrees are from the University of Akron. Go Zips, go Zips. And I am here in the land. I am in the land near Cleveland, Ohio. Go Cavs, go Cavaliers. Now, 16 years I've been in this industry, and I do provide grant writing workshops for many different organizations across the country, including Goldman Sachs, where I am also a proud alumnus of their Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program. And I am also a member of Forbes Black, which is an organization of Black leaders affiliated with Forbes magazine. Now, yes, I have a business, but I used to lead a nonprofit. So I want to know who is here with me today. So let me know in the chat. Are you a for-profit, meaning you're a small business, or are you a nonprofit, or maybe you're both? Because I keep finding out that for-profits are starting nonprofits and nonprofits are starting for-profits. So maybe you're both. Let me know in the chat. Don't be shy. Are you a nonprofit or a small business, meaning you're for-profit? Or maybe you're both. Let me know. Let's see. For-profit with aspirations to be a nonprofit as well. That is possible. LLC, small business, trying to start both. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Both. Ooh, a lot of both. Excellent, excellent. Ohio for-profit. Excellent. Ohio. All right. So I always ask this question at the very beginning, just so you know that there's grant money for both, right? So you're in the right place. There are grants for not just your nonprofits, right? But your small businesses as well. And I know this is new, right? Because when you thought about a grant, what did you think about? A nonprofit, but everything is different now, as you will soon see. All right. Now, how did I get here? I used to be a publishing executive in Pennsylvania, but I got hurt. When I got hurt, I had to move back home to Cleveland and literally came home in a wheelchair, couldn't even stand. Took me 2 years to recuperate. And at the end of those 2 years, I couldn't find a job. My experience was in professional publishing, and Cleveland, Ohio is not the mecca for professional publishing, so I couldn't find a job. That's when I started LaPav Consulting. And one of my first contracted positions was to be the executive director of a nonprofit. Now, we're all family here, right? So I don't think I was in that job 2 weeks before I was asked to write a grant that would pay for my salary. Now, you know that people sometimes who look like us, we are called in to save the day, to save the program, sometimes to save the entire organization, right? And if you know what I mean, give me a yes in the chat. And that was the situation, right? Oh, I'm seeing some yeses. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, I'm seeing some yeses. I'm seeing some yeses. Oh my gosh, that is funny, but who is this? He is funny, but Latanya is not funny, but you know what I mean, right? Well, I did it. I had never seen a grant before, by the way. Had no knowledge of grants, just wasn't in my wheelhouse, but I did it. I researched, I wrote that grant. It paid for my job. It paid for my salary. It saved my job. It saved the organization. And I knew at that point that, yes, it's possible to write grants with no experience. I certainly was able to do it, and you will be able to do it as well. But I also learned that there's this amazing connection between getting grant funding and being able to grow, to thrive, to hire help. Some of you I know are quite tired of wearing 20 different hats, right? Being able to hire staff. It's amazing what you can accomplish with free grant money, someone else's money, right? So that's part of what we will talk about, really what you can accomplish when you are able to receive grant money. So yes, it's absolutely possible to write grants with no experience. Now, what are we going to talk about today? Why this class is even important. Keys to funding. I will give you some grant basics. We will talk about how do you prepare to apply for grants? How do you become grant ready? What do you write in that application? How do you write the application? And then how do you write in a way that is getting you noticed in a sea of applications? And then I'm going to show you how to conduct grant research so that you're finding the organizations that want to give you funding. And then do not go anywhere because I have a bonus surprise at the end. I have a list of grant opportunities, and we're going to do a Q&A. Now, speaking of Q&A, this is not the time to be shy, right? Because this is your opportunity to ask a grants expert and a grants instructor questions about grants. So drop your questions in either the Q&A or the chat. You don't have to use both, one or the other, the Q&A or the chat, and then I will get to your questions at the end. Now, I have to scoot up to say this. I am here to help you. I'm here to help you. Therefore, you're going to get a free copy of this replay, right? I do not charge for this knowledge. You will get a copy of this replay. You will have it tonight. It will be free. Did I say it was free? You will have it forever. There's no expiration date on this replay. So don't worry. I do go swiftly because I have a lot of information to share that I want you to get. But don't worry. You'll get the replay. It will be free. You'll have it forever. It is time to go. All right. Now, why are we here? Why is this webinar even important? Because we as Black leaders need access to money. And guess what? It shouldn't always be about loans. We want grant money because grant money is free to us. And let me say this to all of you. You can write a grant. You can write a grant. It's nothing to be afraid of. And grant writing is totally different now than it used to be. You're not sitting in some corner for 3 months at a time, writing some 500-page document. I know all about it because that's exactly what I used to do. But some of the grant applications now are literally 2 or 3 pages. So you can do this. But what you must know is that there is a process to this, right? This is about more than you writing, right? A couple of answers in an application and sending it off. That is a great way to get a rejection letter, right? After having won $17 million, I can tell you that there's a process to winning. And that's part of what I will share with you tonight. Now, why is there, as of right now, still so much money available? Two reasons. Now, first of all, let me just say there have always been money for nonprofits, right? So we're going to set them aside. There have always been money for nonprofits. I'm talking about small businesses now. First of all, when COVID-19 happened, small businesses were going out of business at an alarming rate. And then your major corporations stepped in and said, we need to do something to help save small businesses because a small business is the backbone of the US economy. And so they started to create pools of grant money earmarked for small businesses. Now, how does this affect you and me? That was the George Floyd incident. When George Floyd was murdered, sure enough, leaders of foundations stepped in and said, we have to do something to address racial injustice in the country, right? And so many of these corporations started to create pools of grant money earmarked for Black-owned organizations and Black-led nonprofits. And as of right now, this money is still available, right? And so that's why you are saying still grant money earmarked for Black organizations and Black-led organizations, right? Whether it's a nonprofit or a small business. So the good news is that there's money for both. There's money for nonprofits and there's money for for-profits, your small businesses right now. All right. Now I'm going to give you some grant basics. What do you need to know? Grants are not paid back, regardless of what you are seeing on social media. And I see some really bizarre information on social media. I feel like I'm always correcting misinformation, right? Especially on social media. All right. Grants are not paid back. For the next minute, though, I'm only talking to you nonprofits. Get that 501c3. That is your tax exempt charitable organization designation by the IRS. And guess what? Even if you are a church, even if you are a school, you still need the 501c3 because foundations are mandated by their board of directors that they can only give grant money to nonprofits with the 501c3. So get it? The good news is that it used to take the IRS about 6 months to process these applications. Now you can get it in as little as 8 weeks. All right. Now, moving forward in this presentation, I'm talking to all of you. Small businesses, nonprofits, everybody, especially with this next slide. Everybody look at this slide. U.S. grant annual funding. This is corporation, foundation, and bequest giving. 2023, this is 1 year. $189 billion, billion would it be? People, don't let anybody tell you that there's no grant money available. There's plenty of grant money available now. There's plenty of grant money available, right? And I want you to look at this number, $189 billion. Do not be overwhelmed by this number. I don't want you thinking, oh, that's just so much money. It's like, there's no way I'll never be able to. No, because at the end of the day, you just need what you need, right? You just need what your organization requires, right? You just need a little bit because this is a lot of money. And guess what? If you throw in individual giving, now you're at $455 billion. But we'll just do it with foundation and corporation giving right now. And I want you to think about this number because you just need your share of what will make your organization grow, thrive, or for you to open it. I know some of you have not yet opened. All right. So everybody into this chat, you just need a little bit of this money. So I want you to write into this chat, I just need a little bit. I do not want you to be overwhelmed by this $189 billion. Everybody into the chat, I just need a little bit. I want you to write it. I just need a little bit. Because at the end of the day, so late, are we being greedy? No. Mel, do you need it all? Do you need all $189 billion, billion with a B, I C, right? Babietta? Or do you just need what you need? Javion says, look, I just need a little change. All right. Okay, just keep it real. I just need a little change, right? This is a huge pie. I'll take the crumbs. I'll take crumbs that fall from $189 billion, right? Because I want you to see this number as attainable for what you need, right? And not be overwhelmed and think, oh, that's so much. Just not attainable, not doable, right? There's, right, Brian? Brian's preaching in the webinar chat. There's enough for everyone. period. And that is what you must understand. For those who are seeking it, that's the difference, right? That is what is going to make you place your organization in a much better position to get it, is that you are actively seeking it, right? And so that is going to be important. And I'm here to show you how to do that. But first, they call me the Grants Queen, and it's chilly tonight. So I'm going to be giving you nice cups of tea. Nice cups of tea. This is the first cup. It is called Grammarly. Now, if you use Grammarly, I want you to give yourself some love in this chat. What is it? It is a software editing tool. You download it onto your computer. You use it when you're writing. You use it for Word. You use it for Excel. You use it for emails. I know people use it for text messages. Why is this important? Because I do not want you submitting grant applications full of grammatical errors, right? And it does not matter how many letters you have behind your name. I am a professional editor, a professional writer, and a professional grant writer. I wouldn't write without Grammarly, right? So who is using Grammarly? Give yourself some love in the chat. And courtesy of our friends at Grammarly, we have this article. Improve writing skills dramatically by doing these 15 things. Download it, everyone. Download it. Download it, Tanika. I believe Tanika is using Grammarly. People, it's free. It's free. You will need it. I do not want you submitting grant applications full of grammatical errors, right? So what are you going to do? You're going to download Grammarly, totally free. Tamara uses it. Kay uses it. And Angelia uses it. Yes, it's free. Why not? It's free. Now, what are we doing? We are preparing to apply for grants. You need to get your documents in order. Your EIN. Nonprofits, you know you need your 501c3. Now, you may or may not need your state certification or your business license. It depends on what state you're in. I'm in Ohio. In Ohio, if you have a business, you must have a business license. I want you all to check with your Secretary of State. Go to the website, find out whether or not you need a business license. Now, nonprofits, you know you need a board of directors. It is a requirement. It is mandated, right? Get your list of board members together, right? If you have a for-profit, it's not mandated that you have a board, but if you do, get your list together, right? List your staff. Get letters of support. Let these foundations know that there are organizations that support you, right? Name drop if you have to. Do you know the mayor? Do you know politicians? Do you know vendors? Do you know community leaders? Your pastor, your church? Right? Those who know of your work in the community, have them write you a letter of support. Now, if you are currently operating, yes, you will need your financial statement, which includes your balance sheet and your profit and loss statement. Now, this next bullet is for everybody. Current operating budget. This is very important because even if you have not started, even if you are a startup, even if you are at the idea stage, you need a draft operating budget because at the end of the day, you must know approximately how much money it's going to take for you to open, right? And then you can determine approximately how much grant money you need. But first, you have to have some idea how much money is it going to take. You might be thinking, oh, it's going to be $1 million. And then when you create the budget, you realize, oh, I only really need $100,000 to do this. And then it will help you determine how much grant money you need. All right. All right. Now, I'm going to go through the typical components of a grant application and give you best practices. Be sure you drop those questions in the Q&A or the chat, one or the other. All right. Now, the first section of this grant application is called the summary abstract. Do not be fooled. It is the first section that you're going to see. You always write it last because you're going to go through your completed application that you wrote, start pulling out the most compelling components and dump them into the summary. All right, because the summary is the first document that the foundation is going to read. So it has to be tight. It has to be tight. All right. Mission, vision statement. We're just going to do with the mission statement because that is critical. And I often get asked, Linda, I'm a for-profit, I'm a small business. I don't need a mission statement, do I? Yes, you do, if you are going to be seeking grant money, because your mission is going to align you to the organization that wants to give you funding. If you are laser focused on K through 12 education, you need to be seeking a foundation that also has a passion for education, right? And guess what? You don't change your mission statement based on what foundation you're seeking money from, right? Your mission statement is static. It defines who you are, what you're doing, your aims, and your goals. You should be seeking foundations that align to your mission, right? So if you don't have a mission statement, that's homework 101 for you all right? So get your mission together, all right? Now, next section is history. Just don't ever leave this blank, even if you are a startup, because now you're going to be thinking about what were those experiences that led to you starting your organization? Like, what was the impetus? What was the catalyst? Because those experiences are part of the creation and the history of that organization. All right. Leadership, that's easy. Your CEO, your COO, but you always include your board of directors because they are very much a part of your leadership team. All right. Now, this next section, this is how you are going to separate yourself from everybody else on this grant application. Because when you start to describe your organization, I want you all to think of one word: impact. What has been the impact of your organization on those for whom you serve? And you use real numbers. You have a homeless ministry. How many homeless people have you placed in shelters? Right? Are you a truck driver? How many tons of goods have you, right, transported across the country? You have an online coaching service, maybe LLC, maybe in career development. How many people have you coached to their future careers? And if you have not yet opened, I still want you to use impact in real numbers to now describe what you hope to occur. So maybe you're planning on opening up a tutoring organization where you can tutor middle school kids after school and reading. Now you can discuss, okay, I want my impact to be that they will increase their reading proficiency scores by 3%. So whether you are currently operating or you're a startup, use impact, use real numbers. Got it? All right. Now, this section here really may change how some of you see your organization. Because at the end of the day, you must write this application as if you are solving a problem or addressing an issue. And there's always an issue. It doesn't matter what you do or what industry you're in. And I like to use the example of just a bakery. A bakery wants a grant to move to a downtown location. You might be thinking, what problem is she solving? She's making cakes all day, right? Well, maybe she decided to open up a vegan bakery because vegans don't have a lot of great places to buy baked goods. So she's resolving their problem. Or maybe it's about economic development because the area that she wants to move in is full of white, right? And she wants to really make a difference in that community. Whatever that issue is that you are trying to address, it can lead you to the foundation that wants to give you money because guess what? They're giving grant money to organizations addressing the same issue. Now, how do you find out where foundations give, how they give? You go to their websites. But the problem is 90% of foundations don't have a website. That's where you have to get really creative in your research on that particular organization. All right. Now, this section is where a lot of you get into trouble because over the past 16 years, when I've inquired, right, with the companies that I coach or that I help, who are you helping? Want to ask you, who are you helping? Who's your target population? Too often they get, oh, I help everybody. I help everybody. If people come my way, I help them. I just have a heart for helping. I have to do it. No, 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 no. This is hard for a lot of you to hear, and I get it, but you cannot help everybody. You cannot help everybody. You need one, maybe two target populations. And it can be based on demographics. So you help the homeless, and then you have to niche down even further. What kind of homeless? Homeless veterans, homeless single moms. It can be geographical. Maybe you serve people that live within a 1 mile radius. You're a truck driver. Maybe you only work with companies that need refrigerated goods because you have refrigerators in your trucks, right? Niche down, one, maybe two target populations. If you want to drop yours into the chat, maybe we can talk about it at the end if I have time in the Q&A, right? One, maybe two, because foundations give according to target population. So you have to define yours. All right. Now, at the end of the day, get excited, be excited about completing these grant applications. Why? Because this is your opportunity to tell your story. That's what a grant application is. You get to tell your story. How have you changed lives? How will you change lives? What have been your outcomes? Right? Doesn't matter whether you have that trucking company or whether you're a restaurant. Video is phenomenal for showcasing impact. You have clients, have them talking to their cell phone for 30 seconds and get you a testimonial that you're going to place on the homepage of your website. Now, maybe you haven't opened. You can still use video. Now you're going to showcase the issue, right? Using video. If you have like a compilation video, just make sure it's no more than 2 or 3 minutes. But videos, oh, I cannot tell you the difference they make when you're sitting and interviewing with that foundation. You could talk for 30 minutes. You show that 2-minute video, you literally see the change in their faces, right? So utilize video. Now, you all have a decision to make. Are you asking for operating grant money or program project grant money? Now, we love getting operating grants, right? Because you really get to shore up your operations or your administration. So you can use grant money, right? That comes with the general operating support grant, however you want. It could be for salaries, for your lease, for IT, for marketing, right? But only about 32% of foundations give general operating support. Most grant money has to go to a particular program or project or service of your organization. All right. Now, here's another takeaway. You must apply to multiple foundations for the grant money. Now, drop into the chat. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that you have to apply to multiple foundations? This is not a sprint. This is a marathon, right? So let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Why do you think you have to apply to multiple foundations? Let me know what you are thinking. Exposure one, increase the conversion rate. Yes, absolutely. Higher probability of success. Absolutely. Increase your chances of winning. You're all right. You're all right. But also, and this is crucial, grants are not guaranteed. Do not let anybody come up to you and like whisper in your ear, like, "Oh, I can guarantee you grant money." Yes, I know where there's some grant money I can guarantee. Just give me some money, I can guarantee you grant money. No, no, no. After 16 years, I can tell you that on almost a daily basis, I hear about people who have been scammed. It's literally almost every day. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart almost every day. You have to remember, anytime you're talking about the aspect of getting free money, the scammers, they like grow out of the wood. They literally like form out of the wood. You know what I mean? Like the fruit flies come up out of the fruit, they form out of the wood, right? So you have to be careful. You have to be careful and make sure you are applying to multiple foundations. Got it? Is this making sense? All right. All right. Now, just know that when you are completing this grant application, you're talking about whatever it is you're asking money for, your project, your program, your service, right? Talk about why you've been successful. And if it's something new, why you? Why is it that you're the organization to start this new company or program? What is the need? And why is it that you're the organization to address the need? All right. Now, I cannot overstate to you the importance of having community partnerships. Now, I've had my business for 16 years now, and I can tell you all that you cannot do this alone. That is the quickest way to get burnt out. To have community partners will increase, it will increase, right? The probability of you getting a grant. because foundations don't expect you to work alone. And I'm not speaking of any type of partnership where there's an exchange of money. There doesn't have to be. It depends on the nature of the relationship. Let's say you have an accounting firm. You could give a tax talk 1 hour every single month at your local library, which I think libraries, by the way, are criminally underutilized. You know they're going to promote you, right? Which brings me to reason number two. Some of you have phenomenal programs. Nobody knows about the program. Nobody knows about you, even in your own community. That's why you have to connect with organizations that already have high profiles, right? So that they can help you. You can get a little bit of their shine. And typically they're going to promote your work or what you do, right? What Whether it's the Urban League, like HBCUs, 100 Black Men of America, right? Let's say you have an organization where you help ex-offenders transition back into civilian life. You have to start before they're even released. So, what would be a few community partnerships that would be vital for you, right? If you have a program where you're helping ex-offenders, right? The jail system, right? The criminal justice system, you need to know the warden, you need to know the sheriff, you need to know the parole board, social service agencies, right? The police department, the police captain, so that you can get recommendations because you're working within that system. Like you can't do this alone, right? So homework for all of you, name five organizations that you will work with within your community. If you want to drop a few in the chat, if we get to them at the end, I'll discuss them. All right. Now, anytime you're writing a grant, you need goals. You must discuss what do you expect to happen if you get the grant money, right? But they can't be regular goals. They have to be SMART goals. Some of you know what these are: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely, right? Now, let's say I have a literacy program and I write down as my goal, I want to reduce the poverty rate in Cleveland. Well, that's an okay goal. It's not a SMART goal. A SMART goal would say, I want to reduce the poverty rate by 5% in Cleveland for Hispanic children under the age of 5 within a 5-year time frame. Into the chat, everybody, what did I do there? How did I change that goal into a SMART goal? What did I do? Well, anybody into the chat, what did I do? I quantified it. Yes. Soleil, what else did I do? What else did I do? What else? I was more specific, Tamara. What else did I do? What else did I do? Quantified it to increase the depth of the goal. Tanika, yes. Specifications, pointed and clear. Brian, yes. What else did I do? I used metrics. I used measurables, things that could be measured. 5%, Hispanic children, Cleveland, under the age of 5, 5-year time frame. Anytime you want to change a goal into a SMART goal, you add data and stats. You add metrics, things that can be measured. All right. You can use that across the board for whatever project you're working on. Now we're at the money. This is how you are going to discuss and showcase how you are going to use the grant money, right? There will be a budget. You must itemize these expenses. So let's say you want a $50,000 grant to hire an executive director. You can't just write, I need 50 grand for an ED. Is it a contracted position? If so, what is the hourly rate? How many hours will the person work a week? How many weeks out of the year? You want supplies? What are they? What are they needed for? How are you going to be using them? How much does each supply cost? How many do you need? The numbers go into the budget, which is typically an Excel file. The explanation or the description of how you're going to be using the money goes into the budget narrative. Got it? All right. All right. Now, I know some of you are like, oh, Linda, this sounds good. This sounds really good. But I don't have time for this. I do not have time to write these grants. I don't have time to write these grants. Remember, I said to you at the beginning that a lot of grants are what? 2 to 3 pages, especially the ones for small businesses, 2 to 3 pages. It's not what it used to be, right? So I have a question for all of you, and I would like an answer in the chat from all of you. Do you have time to get free money? Do any of you have time to get free money? Let me see if anybody has time to get free money. Let me see what is going on in this chat. Oh, I see. I will make time. I see. Yes. I see. Yeah. I see. Of course. I see. Yes, ma'am. I see. I have all the time. I see. Yes, I will make time. I keep seeing people are starting to make time. All right. I see. Yes, I see. Absolutely. All right. So it sounds like you have time to get free money. So if you have time to get free money, I need for you to spend just a little time on the process, right? On the process to get the free money. What are you going to do? Oh, you're going to build some relationships. Now, people, this is a slide. Like literally, if you don't take anything else away from this webinar, this is it. So do your screenshots, do whatever you have to do, because this is as important as anything you will ever write in the application. You need to meet with the foundation first. Yes, you do. Build this relationship. And I'm speaking about a 30-minute meeting. And typically they're 30-minute Zoom meetings, right? Now, if you are located in close proximity to the foundation, meet with them in person. But typically these are Zoom meetings. I probably set up 1,000 of these over the last 16 years. Always remember 30-minute Zoom meeting, $30,000, because those missions align. These are so many of these foundations are national in scope. So you're sitting on a Zoom call with them and they want to meet with you. They're considering giving you money. You want to meet with them. You're trying to get their money. And let me tell you, in that meeting, they will give you information that is not even on their website about the grant, right? This becomes so important. And it's not hard, it's not difficult to do, right? But it needs to be done because they want to meet with you. They want to get to know you. They're considering giving you their funding, right? So how are you going to do this? You're going to send an email. You're going to send an email, a letter of introduction to the foundation. In this email, you are describing your organization. You are discussing who you serve, how you serve them, right? You are aligning your mission to the mission of the organization. You are not asking for money. That is one of the quickest ways to get a rejection letter, is for you to send an email asking for money. No, you're asking for a meeting. In the meeting, you ask for the money, right? And if you send this email to a real foundation with a real person and a real email address, they will reach out. They will reach out to you, right? Now, it's time to find the money. It's time to do grant research. What are you going to do? Now, people, Google is fine, but you want to go to platforms where they specialize in providing information about grants. FDO, Foundation Directory Online, also known as Candide, is the leading source of information on grant makers in the United States. Now, they don't give you the grant, they give you the organization that provides the grant. So let's say you're in Detroit and you have a program where you help veterans with PTSD, right, become reacclimated to civilian life. You put this information into FDO and it will give you a list of organizations that provide such grants. Now, FDO, $50 a month to subscribe, or they are free at your local library. Free. Grants.gov is the local source. We know that's a free site, right, for federal grants. Do I have any churches, faith-based organizations? Yes, you can get grants too. Lilly Foundation, Grant Watch. I love Grant Watch because they actually give you the list of grants. So Grant Watch and Grant Station, they both give you the list of grants, right? And Grant Watch is $20 a week, right? And they give you the synopsis of the grant, the sponsor, the contact information for the sponsor, and so does Grant Station. And Grant Station actually adds a lot of free training. Grant Watch is $20 a week or $200 for the year. Grant Station is $200 for the year. UrbanAwarenessUSA.org is Black owned. Just please sign up to them. Tell them Linda sent you. Just sign up, right? Free training, free information, Black owned, just phenomenal. All right. Now, I want to show you really quickly how you do this research. This is Grant Station, right? $200 for the year. Now, look to my right, areas of interest, right? For every block you see, there's probably 10 to 15 drop-down blocks, right? Where you can really hone in on what you are providing. And then the same for target populations. Who are you serving? Veterans, homeless, K through 12, people who've aged out of foster care. There are literally hundreds and hundreds of categories. So you input your information, you push a button, it will give you a list of grants. Now, let me say something to you about location. This is very important because so many of you are leaving grant money on the table. Stop being seduced by these $2 and $3 million government grants. They're very difficult to get. And too often people see the amount like, oh my gosh, there's $1 million grant. I better apply. It's not even for you, right? You have to know whether or not your organization aligns to the type of organization they're being giving to, right? It is so much easier to get local grant money. Please start local. Meet with your local community foundations. Google when we're done, local community foundation near me and meet with them. Typically, yes, they only give grants to nonprofits, but if you are a for-profit small business, meet with them. I've heard nothing but good information about for-profits that I've met with local community foundations because at the end of the day, guess what? They know where the money is in the community. They do. All right. So start local, but don't disregard the national grant makers. Just because a grant maker is located in Texas doesn't mean they're not giving money to you and you're in Connecticut. And then for my global people, right? This is for you too. You could be living in the United States and serve a population in Africa and still search and get grants. You could live in Africa and serve a population in Africa and search and get grants. You have to remember a lot of these grant makers are global in scope, right? Right there in the middle, global grant makers. All right. And there's even a special section on Grant Station for Canadian organizations. All right. So you put in this information, you press a button, you get a list of grants, right? Now I said I had a list of grants for you. I will not go through all of these, right? We've all heard of Aunt Jemima. Yes, I think so. Most of us probably. Now, you know, they changed their brand name to Pearl Milling Company, and now they have a phenomenal grant program. So if you provide services to Black girls or Black women, I would apply for that grant. Sign up to be on the e-newsletters of these organizations because if the deadline has passed, you want to know when the next round is opening, right? You have a nonprofit, go to support Black charities. Do you have a beauty brand? That L'Oreal NAACP grant is probably going to be opening up pretty soon. Do you have a brick and mortar, a physical store? Main Street grant. Now, oh my goodness, if you have a small business, a Black-owned small business, LISC has given away $9 billion since 1979. They operate under the radar screen. They're only in 6 states. I know North Carolina, Ohio, Georgia are 3. Please just research, find out whether or not they're in your state and meet with them. Do you have a beauty salon, hair care salon, Black hair care salon? I believe that Shea Moisture Grant may still be open. I know it opened in October. I think it might still be open. I won't go through these all. Ford Foundation, are you a filmmaker? Do you have any aspirations to be a documentarian? Ford Foundation, one of the largest foundations in the country. If you are filming, right, any type of documentary or film about the Black experience, Ford Foundation, right? Let's see, Amarillo. Now, you may be saying, Linda, I'm way too small for this. It's just me. I'm a solopreneur. Solopreneurs get grants too, right? Amarillo only gives money to super small organizations, right? Or you might be saying, I don't even have a paid staff. I don't even pay myself, right? Let me say to you all, You don't need a paid staff. You need impact. And all volunteer organizations get grant money. All right. If you are a church, yes, you can get grant money as a church, right? Lilly Foundation is just one resource. Or you might be a startup thinking, oh, I'm just starting up. I can't get any money. Busy and Sky's the limit. They both have startup grants. Now, I know I usually have a lot of women on these webinars, so this slide is for you. Make sure you sign up to helloalice.com. They have right now 3 grants. 2 are in the restaurant food industry. One is a tech accelerator. I won't go through them all. Amber Grants for Women give away $30,000 every single month. And of the $30,000, 10,000 is earmarked for startups. 10,000 is earmarked for a particular theme. The theme this month is creative arts. So if you're in the arts business, arts and any type of arts and culture, right? Look at that grant. All right. And then Tori Birch, she is a phenomenal designer. She has a special program for women of color. Now, all of you right now into the chat, let me know like what comes to your mind when you think about banks and money. Banks and money. Banks and money, banks and money. What comes to your mind when you think about banks and money into the chat? Banks and money. Yes, loans. Opportunity, absolutely. It can absolutely be opportunity. High interest rates, yes. Did you know that banks are some of the largest providers of grant money? Grant money. We're in Ohio. Very fortunate. There are several banks. Several banks. Yes, Calvin, that's it. Relationship, not transaction. It's always going to be about your relationship. But there are banks. There are so many banks that provide grant money. We're in Ohio again. Key Bank is actually one of the largest foundations in the state of Ohio. They give away so much money. Then you have a Citizens Bank, PNC Bank, like Third Federal Bank. Go to a bank that has a great presence in your community. Maybe they have a regional office. Maybe they have a headquarters office. And yes, you'll need to meet with them. And no, they do not have to be your bank. All right. Now I'm going to give you 4 hot leads, right? Bank of America is the largest bank in the country. They have hundreds of millions of dollars in grant endowments. Wells Fargo, hundreds of millions of dollars in grant endowments, right? Now they give to for-profits and nonprofits. TD Banks only gives to nonprofits. The 4th one is Truist, Truist. They give to for-profits and nonprofits. And Kevin is saying, yes, US Bank absolutely provides grants too. Kevin has posted some others. Comerica. He's posted Comerica, US Bank. I have Wells Fargo. What you need to know, people, is that banks provide grant money and quite a bit of it. Quite a bit of it. All right. Now, I said I had a bonus surprise for you, and I do, because especially where we are now, you need to place your organization in the best possible position to get this free money while it is available. A lot of this money is coming from the US government. Yes. Oftentimes, let's say you have a daycare center. So much of the grant money that is available for childcare centers and daycare centers, and yes, there's plenty of grant money available for you, is filtered down through the federal government, down through the state or the county, right? And we know that there may be plans to shrink the government, right? So while there's money available now, we don't know how much longer it's going to be available. So please place yourself in position to get it. I'm here to help you. I created a grant writing course for you. This is how I won $17 million. I put it in a course. And yes, it includes my coaching, which is what is going to be critical to help you. All right. Now, the course itself, yes, proven step-by-step path to funding. Yes, I teach you how to write the best or research for the best grants, right? There's an entire module on grant research. But let's say you find your foundation and you set up that meeting. The coaching comes in because if you ask me and let me know what you're doing, right, I can tell you what to say in that meeting, what to bring, what to listen for, what are the keywords, right? Now, the course will teach you how to write every part of a grant narrative, your mission, your vision, your problem statement, your history, you name it. But the coaching comes in. You ask me, Linda, how much should I ask for? Should I be asking for operating money or program project money? Right? That's where the coaching comes in. All right. So this is twofold. This is not, remember I said at the beginning, this is about more than you just answering some questions and sending off an application, right? That gets a rejection letter. I want to place you in the best possible position, more so than ever before, to get this grant money. Free money to you. All right. You get 12 modules, 35 lessons. Every lesson starts with a video, but this is where the course is different. In the past 16 years, right? I've seen thousands of grant applications. I've been hired to actually build grant applications, right? To create the questions. I am using those questions, right, that I've seen over the past 16 years to create this course. So I'm asking you to answer the questions in my course. This is where you do the work, where you're not under pressure. It's self-paced, where you can dive deep so that you have great questions and great answers. So when you're done, you have a great grant template that you're now using to start applying for grants. And yes, you get examples, grant examples. Every grant example in this course I wrote, and every grant example won money. All right. And I'm doing something that nobody else in the country is doing. I give you a list of over 600 organizations that give grants to start off, right? And then I have a private Facebook group where I always say, like the young kids say, the Facebook group is lit. It just is. If you're looking for the place for grants, I'm dropping grants in there all the time. The students drop more grants than I do. And 3 weeks ago, they're so phenomenal. They created like 8 different separate chat groups so that they could work together. This is about community, people, and collaboration. There's no competition, and it's a safe space. It's a safe space for you to come in and get the help that you need from people who can actually answer your questions, right? I'm in there all the time. I always say you'll be sick of seeing my face in the Facebook group. I'm in there all the time. But even if I'm not in there, I have professional grant writers. I have other students who are CEOs who have doctorates in English and education, right? And then I give you an hour of group coaching. I give you an hour of group coaching. And that's on a regular basis. That's not just one and done, right? It's typically monthly so that you get the help that you need, right? Now, this is not what you're paying for the course. So wait, all right? This is what the course is worth. I've had it audited 3 times now. And I don't believe in pulling numbers out of the clouds to say, oh, my course is worth so much. No, it's been audited. The 12 modules were $3,549. The videos are worth $599. That funding list, which is now $600, worth $499. And yes, you have workbooks and planners and grant trackers. You know you have to stay on track. Yes, for $350. Now, this is a slide that you want to see. Yes, my course is worth $5,000. The university grant writing courses are $5,000, and you don't even get access to the professor afterwards, right? And you certainly don't have access to the materials beyond sometimes 2 or 3 months. So my regular price is $997, right? I try to keep it on sale for $497 because I truly try to make this as affordable as possible because it's changing the lives of organizations, right? And this is how I serve. I know it's a super low price because guess what? You came on the webinar, so you're getting an additional 50% off. Yes, you are reading that right. You get this entire course, the Facebook group, the group coaching, the live group coaching with me for $247. And most people think that's a monthly payment. It's not, it's one and done. People have services that are probably 80, 90 times that amount. This is what I do to try to help as many people as possible because I know it will. I know it can help you. So if you want to buy the course, make sure you use that code because you're only getting the 50% off. Usually it's for 3 days, but you know what week it's Black Friday week. So You have until Friday. You have a couple of extra days to get the 50% off. And if you want to make the one payment, that's this, $247. If you need more help, you need 2 months. I can give you 2 months, $137.50 a month. So now, right? And then 1 month from now, you pay the last $137.50. Put a 2 on the end of the code so that you let us know you need a 2 month payment. And you were at the bottom right, the course never expires. The course never expires. All right. This is everything you get. I teach you how to write every part of that grant. You will know how to write a grant, right? The letter of inquiry, I always talk about that because it has become a gatekeeper. So a lot of the foundations now want you to complete that LOI before they even invite you to complete the grant. So I have an entire module on it. All right. All right. So if you want to buy the course, let's say you want to pay the $247. You're getting the discount off of the $497 price. So I need for you to hit the $497 price. All right. It will take you to this page here. As you can see, $497, but guess what? You have a coupon. You input your coupon. Once you input your coupon, it will take off 50%, right? So you're paying only $247. Now I want you to see this block here. That block is a deep dive private VIP session with me, right? That is an additional cost because it is a private session with you and me. I do a deep dive into your organization before we even talk about grants. I analyze your mission, your vision, your infrastructure, your target population, and your program or your service. Then we talk about local and national grants. It is a 1 hour strategy session. You get all of the notes. You even get the video. It's $495. It's only reduced to $195 if you buy it with the course. You add it to the $247. Now, whether you pay the $247 for the course or you add the $195, if you're making that one payment and you need extra help, we have buy now, pay later. Affirm, Afterpay, and Klarna will all, right, through the software that I use, give you 6 months, same as cash. So you can spread your 247 out over 6 months. You can add the 195 and spread that out over 6 months with no interest. If you need extra help, Affirm will give you 12 months, but they do add interest. All right. So you spread out your payments. You might get a grant before you even pay for the course. All right. Now, let's say you just want to make 2 payments with us. That's fine. Hit the 2 payment plan, 2 times 275. You come to this page, but please put in this coupon code because that's going to take off 50% of this price. And all of a sudden, you're going to pay $137.50. Yes, you pay that now, and then you pay it one more time a month from now. And guess what? I don't drip my course, people. You pay the $137.50, you still get everything. The whole course, the Facebook group, the live group coaching, right? Just know you have one more payment to make. And yes, you can add the $195 right onto it. Everybody, you've got to look at this slide. This is Whitney. Whitney never thought she would get any grant money. Whitney did exactly what I'm asking you to do. Start local. She got $40,000 from the Southern Power Fund. Then she went national. She got $50,000 from the National Birth Equity Collaborative. Whitney last year ended up with over $200,000. And she's saying, I can now be a salaried employee of my business. Think about that. $247 investment, $200,000, right? And for the for-profits, Tranquility Point Therapeutic Massage, they have a massage company, people. They won $20,000, right? We are so very thankful and grateful for your course. It's been life-changing for our business. This is what I hear from organizations. Emily, what was it, 2 weeks ago? She won the LegalZoom grant, $10,000, right? For her business, $500 in LegalZoom products. Christina won $10,000. She's an educator. I would not have had the confidence to follow through on applying for grants if it wasn't for her grant writing course, she stated. May I share that I'm so grateful for Linda. The depth of information provided is unmatched from my experience. She won her very first grant. And yes, a lot of these people have never won grants before, right? And some people become so good at writing grants, they become a grant writer, like Natalie. Natalie won a $50,000 grant for a church after she became a grant writer from taking the course, right? Amazing. Are you going to be pitching your company? April is an attorney. She called me. She said, Linda, I'm ready. You taught me how to tell my story. Came in second place, beat out 100 competitors, took home $9,000. Farnisha got that, oh, she got that Walmart grant. She said, thanks, Linda Peavy, because that one-on-one session we had is getting my organization funded. Kimberly got 4 sponsorships in less than 2 months. This is possible. These people are in the Facebook group, right? The real people in the Facebook group. All right. Make sure you ask me the difference between a grant and a sponsorship when we get to the Q&A. I want you to think about this quote that I saw on social media, right? You're trying to get free money, right? You've got to invest something, right? So yes, you're going to have to pay something. You can pay in time. Some of you have been trying to get grants for a long, long time, spending a lot of your time, right? With not a lot to show for it. Yes, the course costs money, right? What about your connections, right? The connections that you could be making, right? And that you're not making because maybe you don't know how. You think about this, the least expensive thing you have to pay is money. All right. So you think about that. It's time for Q&A, people. It is time for Q&A. All right. But before we do, before you leave, I want you to do something for you and not me. I want you to write into the chat, all of you, before you leave. Do this for you. I believe in manifestation. I believe if you write down your vision, right, it will help you, right, bring it to manifestation. Some of you have been waiting for a long time, and I can't stress this enough, that what I know November 25th is that the grant money is available. I do know that it may not be available for too much longer. You know that companies are being sued trying to give you money. They were being sued before November for trying to give you money, literally. Hello Alice sued, Progressive sued, Fearless Fund sued because they want to give you as a Black organization money. Please do whatever you can to place your organization in a position to get this free money while it's available. All of you write into the chat, I'm ready to get grant money. I am ready to get grant money. All of you, like, get this out of your system, write it down, place yourself mentally where you need to be so that you can keep moving. Don't let this be another webinar you sit on, right? There's too much money available. I would love for you to buy the course. Let me help you. I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, but even if you don't just let this go. It's too much money. There are people waiting on you for you, right, to manifest your skills, right? You've got the passion, take it to another level. People who know me know I'm a football fanatic. Like I am literally, right? I am the fan. It's fourth quarter. It's fourth quarter. Literally, it's fourth quarter. And it is fourth quarter for us, right? So you got to get in the game. You've got to get in this game. Like time is out. Time is out. Time is out to sit on the sidelines. Time is out. I have a coach that says to me all the time, we are the ones we've been looking for. You are the one you've been looking for. You can do this. You can do this, right? You can do this. You can do this. All right. I need to know who is ready to get this grant money. Like, who is ready to get this grant money? Who is it? Soleil, Beverly? Yes, absolutely. James, Angelia? Yes. Calvin? Yes, absolutely. Mel, Latanya, Hassan, Kay, Tamara, I'm ready to get this grant money. Lavietta, Elizabeth, yes, like write this down. I know some of you are tired of using your own money. I hear from you. I hear from you all the time. Tanika, yes, yes, yes. Hassan, say it, Hassan. Hassan says grant money is in my accounts. That's what I'm talking about. You have to sometimes just speak it into the universe, right? Write it down, right? It's way late in this game, people. It's November. Please be ready. January 1st. This is a small amount of money for what you get. And you write it off, by the way. It's totally tax deductible. Yes. Write it off. Write off your $247 course that's worth $5,000. Write it off. It's completely tax deductible. So if you are a for-profit, small business, it is 100% tax deductible. If you are a nonprofit, list it as an expense. Yes. Jaja, yes. Ready to get grant money. Tanika, Hassan, yes. Ready to get grant money. That's what I'm talking about. Like, speak this. Don't do this for me. Do this for you, right? Because I know some of you have been waiting a long time. I have to tell you a true story. A young lady, about 3 weeks ago, she had a nonprofit for 17 years, had never received a dime in grant money. Just broke my heart. Just broke my heart. Broke my heart, right? But she's in a much better place now. Deetra, yes, write this down. Write this down. Who is this? T. Geneva. Write this down. Fourth quarter. Fourth quarter. Michelle Cecil is the fourth quarter. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. All right. I'm going to go over to the Q&A, and I'm going to start with the Q&A box, then I'm going over to the webinar chat. All right. All right. I want to start a daycare to help young mothers so they can work or go to school. And right now the cost of daycare is too expensive. So do I need to start a nonprofit? So I just need a little of that money. So I never tell people whether or not they should start a nonprofit or a for-profit. That is totally up to you. You can certainly get the advice of an accountant. Those are two totally different legal entities, totally different. You've got your for-profits, you've got your nonprofits. What I can say to you, right? I happen to know quite a bit about grants and daycare centers and childcare centers because I've been asked to consult with them. I've been asked to present with daycare centers about grant funding. And I know that because of childcare centers, it is considered early childhood education. Therefore, there's grant money available that is coming from the U.S. Department of Education that is filtered down through your county or your city or your state. So yes, there are many, many, many states and counties that offer grant money for those who are starting up a daycare center or a child care center. And the money is often available whether or not you are a nonprofit or for-profit. All right, so you have to make that decision, but you must know that those are very different legal entities, right? As a nonprofit, you are mandated to have a board of directors, and no, they cannot consist of your family and friends. That's not the way that works, right? So you have to make that decision, but I can't make that decision for you. Now, where's there more grant money? Absolutely with nonprofits. They've been around longer. There's been grant money for nonprofits much longer. The money for profits, right, really just kind of started right before COVID, right? But there's still plenty of money for both entities, right? But you've got to make that decision. So can you use grant money to pay employees, or is it grant specific? Both. So let's say you get that operating grant. When you get an operating grant, you can decide where to put the money. So if you need money to pay employees, right? Operating grants are to help you build up your administrative staff. So yes, you can spend money for employees, but some grants will tell you, let's say it's a program or project, a program or project grant, doesn't mean that you can't still pay for staff. So let's say you have a program and you get a program grant. The program still needs a person to direct it, right? No, it may be a stipend that you're paying the person. It could be you. You could be paying yourself a stipend to operate that program. It's perfectly acceptable for you to pay yourself a stipend to operate the program out of your program grant. All right. But if you want to pay like staff or money for your lease, right, or to shore up your infrastructure, those are operating grants. All right. who would you recommend to help get a budget prepared? So the course teaches you how to write a budget. All right. It teaches you how to write a budget. I will also give you templates. So there are templates in the course, right? So for example, remember I said you need to meet with the foundation. You need to send that email. There's a template. Remember I said how important it is for you to meet with the partners? There's a template. You literally just put in your information. There's a template, right? There are budgets in the course to teach you how to write a budget. Plus, this is for all of you. I'm going to drop this into the chat. If you are looking for additional templates, let's see, this is for everyone, then you can go to SCORE. You can go to their website and get all of the templates you can imagine, especially the financial templates. They will also help you meet with your SCORE people. They will help you score, right? Or if there's one in your community, ECDI. These are both sponsored by the Small Business Administration. All right, so just Google them in your community, But yes, so for example, let's say you buy that one-on-one with me. I will look at your budget. We will go over your budget, right? Absolutely, we will. Not only your budget for your grant, but your operating budget for your organization, right? If that's how you want to spend that time, that's part of what we will do. Also, now you can also create your budget for the grant and come into the Facebook group and dump it into the file folder and ask on a volunteer basis for someone to review it, or at least have a second set of eyes on it. People will do that, but it has to be on a volunteer basis. Like you can't expect it, right? For this amount of money, when you come into the Facebook group, volunteer basis, right? Just ask for someone if they're available. Take a look at it. And I'm talking about the other students because there are tons of students in the Facebook group, right? If I'm available, I will certainly put my set of eyes on it. Absolutely. All right. Do you send the letter of introduction before you submit the application? Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That is the ideal time. Would mental health population be a good category when asked, who do I serve? Well, who do you serve? You have to decide who you serve. Mental health population, I'm not even sure what that is, to be honest. So you have to ask yourself, who do you serve? How are you helping them? Are you providing mental health services? If so, to whom? You could be providing mental health services to veterans, to kids, to single mothers, right? Niche down in your target population. Who are you helping? Who would best be served by your organization, right? Because mental health population, that's everybody. That would be everybody, right? But who do you serve based on your organization? Our grant platform subscriptions tax deductible as well. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Those are business expenses. Yes, absolutely they are. You said we should target one or two populations. However, what if your target population encompasses multiple demographics? For instance, low income includes minority children, right? But how are you serving them? Like, what program do you have? Because to say your program serves a low income population, what what is your program and how are you serving them, right? So, does your program provide services for every single low income minority or low income child in the area, right? That wouldn't be possible. So think about where you're located because you can't you just I know this is really difficult for many of you. I know that it is. You cannot help everybody. The best thing that you can do, decide who you're going to help, how you're going to help them, and then make sure you have a resource so that when they come to you and you can't help them, you have an opportunity to send them somewhere else so that they can be helped. So you're saying low income includes minorities, children. Let's say you have a food bank, right? So your food bank serves a low income community of minorities and children. What if they need something else? What if they need some other service, right? What if they also need clothes? So just always make sure, right, that you have a way to then provide additional information to them just in case they need additional services. So you can say, listen, again, let's go with the food bank. Let's say you have a food bank and your food bank is for low income community, right? But do you serve those in your particular geographical area, right? Because that can be your target population too. So let's say your food bank serves low income minority children or low income minorities and children, families, anybody that's low income, right? You can still narrow it down, excuse me, and say, okay, I'm serving families within a 2 mile radius. Because with the food, you don't have an unlimited supply of food. So there has to be some parameters on who you're serving, how you're serving them. How many board members does a nonprofit need to have? Excellent question. That depends on what state you live in. It's determined by your state. I'm in Ohio. In Ohio, a board, right? A nonprofit needs to be able to have a quorum to meet. So in Ohio, 5. In Wyoming, 3, because I've worked with nonprofits in my own, excuse me, in Wyoming. In Wyoming is 3. You need 3 board members in Wyoming. In Ohio, you need 5. It's different for every state. So you have to find out, right? And you can Google that easily. Is there grant money for a healthcare providers agency? There shouldn't be any reason why there wouldn't, right? So let me just say this to all of you. It's not so much whether or not there's grant money for you, it's how do you find the organizations that are going to provide it to you, right? Just, earlier today, someone had a 501c3, but they also had I believe it was a 504ca, I think it was. They had a private foundation as well as a public charity. And I told them it's a little bit more rare for a private foundation to get funding, but they do. So, for example, your CDCs, your community development centers, right? They get, oh my gosh, they get so much money from the federal government, right? They're not your typical 501c3. Your chambers of commerce, they're not your typical 501c3s, right? Yet they can get funding. So again, it's about where and how you look, and that's what the course will help you with. The difference between a grant and a sponsorship, keep this in mind. When you are seeking a grant, the organization cannot demand that you provide something of value to them because you gave them the grant, right? So let's say it's a bank. A bank can't say to you, in order for me to give you this grant, you must become a member of the bank. No, because that would be giving a benefit to them, and that's illegal, right? But a sponsorship is different because when you get a sponsorship, expect the organization, right, to expect something from you, right? So if they give you $1,000 sponsorship, maybe they want their widget in your swag bag, or their name on your marquee, or an ad in your program booklet, or maybe they want to speak to your audience, right? But grants are totally different. Speaking of grants and sponsorships, I would pursue grants from a bank and sponsorships from a bank and a credit union. Credit unions don't typically give grants. All right. I'm assisting minority high school dropouts to enroll in GED. Then once they pass their GED, I enroll them in college. Would it be best to add other options, such as adding other opportunities of education to help high school graduates as well to reach realistic educational goals? Let's see. Then once, okay, enroll in GED. I think you have enough there. You're helping high school dropouts to enroll in a GED program. Once they pass the GED, you enroll them in college. I would focus on getting grant money for what you're doing. And this is for all of you. There are multiple categories where you should be seeking grants. Let's just take your program. I see multiple opportunities. First, you're a Black-owned organization. There are grants, right, that you need to be seeking that are geared for Black-owned organizations. One, you're in the area of education, right? So seek grants geared towards education, right? Also, you are working with youth, right? Because you're saying high school dropouts. Now you can get grants geared towards organizations that work with youth. There's three right there. It appears like you're a female. That's a fourth category. Now you can be searching for grants that are geared towards women-owned organizations. This is for all of you. Like some of you have 3, 4, 5 different areas where you should be searching for grants. All right. We provide services to those in need of services who are low income and navigating available funding and services within the city. For what though? Right? For what? So you help low income people in the city navigate available funding and services within the city. For what purpose? This is why you have to be specific. Like that is way too generic, right? Because if you put that into a Google search, you're not going to find any grants. The more specific you are, the more you will be able to find grants. What are the services that you are providing for them? Are you helping them to find money for affordable housing? Right? If that's the case, okay. Then now you can search for grants that are available to organizations that help people find affordable housing because affordable housing now is your category. The target population, that's your target population, right? Low income, but how are you helping them? The more you can be specific about what service you're providing, the easier it will be for you to find grants, right? Are you providing them with food, right? Now you're providing a basic service like food, shelter, clothing are basic needs. Foundations, your community foundations and your local foundations and your family foundations love to give money for organizations that cover the basic needs, food, shelter, clothing. So that's why you have to be specific. All right. Would cash flow forecasting be a typical ask? Why would you receive grant money for cash flow forecasting? That's not a typical ask. No, not a typical ask. It sounds like are you wanting an audit? Are you wanting grant money to get an audit for your organization? Because that's what an auditor would do. An auditor would help you, right? Or maybe you need to hire a CPA. A CPA would provide cash flow forecasting. A CPA would easily do that. So let's say you need an accountant, right? So if you need an accountant, look for an operating grant because now you're trying to shore up, right, your administration, your infrastructure, right? So because if you place into the chat, I'm sorry, if you place into Google, I need a grant for cash flow forecasting, you're not going to find any grant money, right? But if you need an account, sounds like you need an accountant, right? Then okay, now yes, you can certainly ask for grant funding to help with your infrastructure because you need an accountant. All right. Now, before I answer any more questions, what is this week, people? This week is what's happening Friday. Somebody put into the chat. What's happening Friday? Somebody put into the chat what is happening Friday. You know what is happening Friday. So put into the chat what is happening Friday. Well, Calvin, you're right. It is the final day to get the discount, but it's also Black Friday. So if you buy the course today, I'm going to give you a little extra money off of the course in the form of a refund on Friday. Right. That's just my little extra because it comes once a year. You're already getting the course for $247 is a $5,000 course. But if you buy it today on Black Friday, I will give you a little extra off in the form of a refund. Little extra surprise for you on Black Friday. All right. Also, if you buy the course today, have you heard of BIP? How many of you heard of BIPOC? Does anyone know what BIPOC means? I'm going to put it into the chat. You will all want to know this, so don't go anywhere. BIPOC. Does anyone know what that means? BIPOC. So BIPOC is one of the target population areas that you can check off when you're searching for grants, like in grantwatch.com is like $20 a week. It means Black, Indigenous people of color, right? Exactly, Mel. Right. So Black, Indigenous people of color. So when you go to GrantWatch, it's $20 a week. I advise all of you to do this. Go to GrantWatch, check off the box BIPOC. It's going to give you a list of grants geared towards you, right? Because you're part of this Black, Indigenous people of color. Now, I have a separate list of grants, 300 already vetted for Black, Indigenous people of color, meaning that the organizations on this grant list have given specifically to Black people in the past. All right. You buy the course today, you will get the list for free. 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 You will get the list of 300 for free. Now, that's in addition to the 600 that you get with the course, right? I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to place you in a position to get this grant money, okay? Because this is going to be so important next year. Oh, it's going to be so important. It's going to be important, all right? Let's see. So I'm in California, interested in working with domestic violence, homelessness, and transitional women. How so? Find out how you want to work with them. Homelessness, what do you want to do? Do you want to counsel them? Are you a mental health counselor? Do you want to provide a program where you provide the intake? So you provide the interview with them so that you can recommend they go to a homeless shelter, right? Transitional women, absolutely. So maybe you want to interview them and give them that reference to go to a transitional house, or maybe you want to provide the transitional house. I would recommend you start small. It's not going to be realistic for someone to give you $1 million grant to just create a building if you haven't received a $5,000 grant. Start small. Maybe you want to rent out a house and make that transitional house very successful, and then ask for more and more and more grant money, the more women you're able to help, right? So this is for all of you. Start small. All right, start small. Okay. All right. Let's see. Sorry, I meant, is that a requirement for grant applications? Let's see what you're asking. Oh, is cash flow forecasting a requirement for sometimes, but it's not cash flow. So with some of the government grants, the larger government grants, the large dollar government grants, they will ask for sometimes a 3-year, right, budget or 5-year budget. But for most of your typical grants, no, they just want to see your annual budget right now, is what they want to see. And then how you're spending the grant money. That's what most of them will ask for. All right. Your budget right now, your operating budget, and then how you're spending the money. But the forecasting usually only happens with your large dollar grants, right? They want to see maybe a 3 or 5-year budget. All right. Okay, I believe we might be done. Let me just make sure they have answered all of the questions. All right, so just keep in mind, if you buy the course today, you will get the list of 300 grants. And on Friday, I'm going to refund some of your money, just a little bit, but it will help. It will help. All right, let's see. Okay. No, that code is not right. No, Melissa, the code is wrong. It's not NOV25 and P, that should be P2. No, so that's not correct. It's NOV25P. It's NOV25P. No, yeah, that's not right. So it's NOV25P. If you, the code for the one amount of $247 is NOV25P. That's not NP, it's just P. Now, if you want to make the 2-month payment, the code is NOV25P, the number 2. All right, so let's get that corrected like right away. So It's NOV 25P, right? That's for the one payment. And then NOV, there we go. It's the last one. There we go. And then NOV 25P2. That's it. All right. So you will get, don't worry, you will get the right codes in an email for the next 5 days so that you will get the replay. Melissa, if you could just drop my email address into the webinar chat, everybody, please put this email into your safe senders list because you're going to get the replay at your email and it will be coming from this email address. And I just don't want it to go to your spam. All right. So make sure you put the spam maybe in your email contact list or your safe senders list. So you will get a reminder of the course, the code, right, for the next 5 days so that you'll have the replay, the course, the code. If you want to buy the course, please make sure you input the code so that you get the discount. That's important. All right. You've got the discount until Friday. You just get the extra bonuses if you buy today. All right. I believe we are done. Let me just make sure. Let's see. Oh, another question. If we use one of the payment plan platforms tonight, would it still qualify for the Black Friday gifted refund? Absolutely. Absolutely, it will. Absolutely. We'll know once you have purchased the course. Doesn't matter if you go through the 2 month payment, the 2 month payment, or if you make the one payment, you have to make the one payment is the only payment option to get the buy now, pay later with the Klarna, Afterpay, right? Affirm. That's only if you choose the one payment, right? But absolutely, if you buy it, you will get the extra Black Friday deal, and you will get the list of 300. All right, let me just make sure. I'm just making sure that I have all of the questions answered. I am located in Georgia. Can I get a grant to educate youth for no driving under the influence? So yes. So again, it's not a matter of whether or not there's a grant, it's about where you're looking. So you're dealing with youth. There are grants that come from, a lot of them come from the Department of Justice. Some of them come from the DOJ that deal with youth and driving, no driving under the influence. I think there would be certainly grants available for sure. From multiple sources, actually, from really multiple sources, because that covers safety, right? That covers youth. So absolutely, again, it's not a question of whether or not there are grants. Food sector systems is a for-profit. How effective is this for me? How effective is what for you? That you have a for-profit? I showed you some examples of organizations with for-profits that get grants. So please know that as a for-profit, it is very possible for you to get a grant. All right. You just have to know where and how to look, right? It also depends on, I don't know what that means, like food sector systems. I know that there are a couple of food and beverage grants right now on helloalice.com. And just because it's on helloalice.com and that's predominantly, they list grants for women, it doesn't mean that those grants are just for women. So if you are a male, I would still go on helloalice.com to see if any of those grants are geared for you. But I know that there are 2 food and beverage sector grants right now on Hello Alice. So I would look there, but there are other places too. There are restaurant grants, right? So if you maybe service the restaurant or you provide them with food, depends on the nature of your organization. But if you're just wondering whether or not as a for-profit, if there are grants for you, absolutely. Again, some of the examples that I gave, they were LLCs, they were for-profit. So definitely there are for-profit and nonprofit grants. All right, let's see if there are any other questions. So I'm willing to take my play that I just got grant money for nationwide and worldwide. I also know I'll need more ready and motivated to take this higher. I would investigate that Ford Foundation grant. Your area is arts and culture. You also want to look at the National Endowment of the Arts because that grant not only is a federal grant that is provided on the federal level, but it's also filtered down through the state. I don't know what state you're in, but for example, in Ohio, we have Ohio Arts Council and Cuyahoga Arts and Culture. Both of those organizations are partially funded from the National Endowment of the Arts. So when you're in the arts, look, and again, across industries, there are multiple places where you should be looking. This is where the course helps. This is where your coaching will help. Because if you come into the Facebook group and you ask the question, this is where that coaching helps. All right. But definitely arts and culture. Definitely. All right. Oh, also, Brian, there is a, I'm going to drop this in here. I'm being generous today. There is a search engine called, this is for all of you, and arts and culture especially. There is a fairly new search engine called Grants for Creators. You absolutely positively want to sign up for that list. There is a paid subscription. I don't even know how much it is, but it is expressly for creators in the area of arts and culture who are people of color, expressly for you. All right. Let's see. Any other questions? Let me go back up to the top. Then I'll come down, and I believe we are done. Let's see. You have until Friday to get the discount for sure. Yes, it's completely tax deductible. Completely tax deductible. Social Justice Learning Institute, Hanks Mini Market, LA Food Policy Council, Council District 8 and 9 office. I'm glad that you listed, this is for all of you too. Kelvin, I'm glad that you listed your local political offices, right? Your local city government, because most of you should know that your city government, they have grants. They're very little known, right? They don't showcase it, but your local city council people, they have grants. They have grants. So I'm glad you included your council district people. It sounds like you might be a food distributor, but I'm not sure. All right, let's see. Let's see if there are any other questions, and I'm going to wrap it up. I specified that we assist with housing, food, job training, and discretionary funding. Okay, that's quite a few areas. That's quite a few areas, but it also means that those are quite a few areas that where you can look, right? So for housing, you can look for affordable housing grants. You provide food, those are one of the three basics, right? Food, housing, and clothing. And then job training, now you can look for workforce development grants, right? Workforce development grants. So you have multiple categories there. Is it grants for creators? Yes. So grants for creators is a search portal where they list hundreds of grants available for those who are in the arts and culture community. Everything from writers to musicians to artists to filmmakers, you name it. All right. On my to-do list this week. Good. Make sure, yes, I would highly recommend that you subscribe to Grants for Creators. All right. I believe we are done. Let me make sure. Are there grants for safety and traffic control businesses? I'm at ground zero with a vision for my business. I will need to join the next grant session, as unfortunately I've joined. Thank you. CT. Well, you're welcome to join. So any of you that want to come to future events, I'm going to drop in the link where you can sign up for future. I know you said you missed some of the session here. So you're welcome to sign up for any future for future courses online for the free webinar. So I am dropping this in. All right. All right, we are done. So again, it's not a matter whether or not there are grants for you. If you are providing a legal service, look for grants in your area, right? Look for grants that are geared towards Black organizations. I want to give you, all of you, another resource by Black. And this is, Terrence, I would recommend that you look up this source as well. Buy Black Grants is sponsored by the U.S. There we go. U.S. Is it going? Okay. Press Alt to show high. Don't want to do that. U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce. They have a list of grants specifically for Black organizations, right? So you're looking in your community, Terrence, you're looking for organizations that provide grants for Black businesses. So look in your community, look at some of these resources like the Buy Black grant. Again, if you buy the course and come into the group, you will get even further help. All right. I want to thank all of you so much for hopping on. I hope this has been helpful for you. Please know that you really do need to get ready. You really do need to get ready. Please try to be ready on January 1st to seek these grants while they are available. Again, who knows what's going to happen in the new year. We know that there may be some cuts to some of the governmental agencies. And so this is your opportunity to come into a safe space and get the help that you need, to know where to look. That is important, to know where to look, because this can be this can be a maze, right? If you don't know where to look or where to focus, and that is what we do. We help you focus. You come into the course, you come into the Facebook group, you ask questions. You come into the group coaching call, you ask questions and get specific help. All right, so I want to thank all of you so much. We're going into the season of Thanksgiving. I know I am so grateful for you for entrusting me to give you just a little bit of the knowledge that I have. But I would just ask you to keep moving forward. This is so important. There's too much grant money. Don't let this be another webinar that you sit on and you don't do anything with the information. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but there are organizations that are being sued because they're trying to give you grant funding. So who knows how much longer a lot of this money will be available, but it's available now. And a lot of these budgets are set, so it will likely be available, going into the new year. So place yourself in a position to get a little bit of $189 billion. So thank you so much. My name is Linda Peavy, creator of the course Grant Writing for Non-Writers, Keys to Winning Grant Proposals, and founder of the company LaPav Consulting. I want to wish you all a very safe and blessed time of Thanksgiving, and just keep moving. Like whatever you do, keep moving forward. Hopefully, I will see you in the Facebook group. For those of you who are going to be buying the course, you'll get 3 emails. One email will be for you to create your username and password. You're not waiting for me. You get started. And then the other email will be an email to that Facebook group which you want, right? So for those of you buying the course, I will see you. I will see you in the Facebook group. I hope to see you all in the Facebook group throughout the course of this week. All right. So thank you so much. Be blessed and be safe. Be safe and have a blessed evening. God bless you all. Thank you so much for hopping on. I know you could have been elsewhere. All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.